Hi, welcome to to Live with Michelle with Shreyas and Shreyas Kushek, sorry. Just coming back off of being out for a couple of weeks due to COVID. So I'm going to use that as an excuse today. Before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to my baby boy who's 27 today. Happy birthday, Matthew. I don't know if he's going to see this, but moms like to embarrass their kids, no matter how old they are. So today I would like to welcome Shreyas from Get, Set, Rise Coaching and Consulting. He's also a co-host on Get Set to Thrive podcast, which I almost introduced in the beginning out of habit. But I see people are rolling in. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to start out with Shreyas, which I gave a little bit of introduction about you, what you do, but tell us more. Tell us what makes Shreyas Shreyas. Tell us about your education, your experiences, and what you're up to now.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining Michelle and myself on this live session. So, I'm Shreyas. I'm a master's in automotive engineering, and hopefully, will be starting my very first job with Daimler in another 1 week and moving base to Stuttgart, Germany to join them at their headquarters. So the pandemic was a great blessing for me personally because it gave me the time to rethink on my strategies as I was fresh out of the university when I graduated in December of 2019. And, and now is the best time to do coaching. And I personally had experienced the benefits of coaching through Michelle, who was the one who introduced me to executive coaching. And we did share the space through Insight Executive Success Assessment, which is a great tool, which gave me great clarity as well to take up my future role and also be aware of my own strengths and challenges. So at present, we are doing a podcast, Get Set to Thrive, which has already seen 7 episodes so far, and we are excited to bring out many more and also deliver the message about coaching, why is it important, and what are the key benefits, and also how it has changed my perspectives personally. And share that with the audience, and it's a pleasure to be sharing the stage with you, Michelle.
Thank you, Shreyas. I'm having some technical difficulties. I believe my Wi-Fi is a little unstable. I'm sorry about that, but hopefully we'll get everything pretty good, clear. I know that there's a lot of people online on the weekends, and that seems to affect us, but great to hear about you, Shreyas, and all that you're up to. That's wonderful. You talked a little bit about how you got introduced to coaching. So do you want to elaborate more on why exactly you decided to become a trained coach? Okay. I don't know if I am froze. Think maybe that, I think I lost you for a second there,
So,
Shreyas. Are you back?
mhm. I'm
Yeah.
back.
Sorry, pretty sure it's my
I think it was
internet.
because of the weather around here. It's
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know. Could be on my end too.
okay.
Not sure. But we're refreshing. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Okay, so do you want to elaborate a little bit more on why you decided to become trained as a coach?
Personally, the biggest motivator for me was the benefits I experienced by being coached by you. One was I got a better clarity understanding my own strengths and challenges. Second, it gave me an opportunity to rethink on a lot of my strategies and evaluate the best way forward. So that these two were the biggest benefits that I saw, which eventually would translate to a better growth and open myself to a lot of opportunities. And frankly, this current opportunity that I got from Daimler was somewhere indirectly related to the way I was coached by you, because I could now better focus on using my strengths to mitigate the challenges that were being thrown at me. One, obviously, is the language barrier that I was so worried. Fortunately, through coaching, I understood that I had a great strength to connect with people on a more personal level. And I also found that I had an inclination to learning more languages. Being an Indian, we are all multilinguistic, so we do have that innate talent to learn languages quickly. So I was probably previously unaware of my own capabilities. So through coaching, I just got that awareness. And the biggest thing is I found those answers from within myself. It was not thrust upon me, or it was not told to me, or you didn't advise me on anything. You just sat there, listened to my version of whatever I had to tell you, and you started asking these open-ended, empowering questions, which really made me think and probe a little bit deeper into the topics, understand what I really wanted to do with my life, because pandemic was a little bit stressful in the beginning. To be frank, it was not easy coming back, leaving a lot of opportunities and being uncertain of the future, especially being in automotive industry. I didn't know if the sentiment would pick up. Fortunately, it is picking up. I'll be a little bit slow, but steadily it is definitely picking up, which gives me greater confidence and also the motivation to see how best I can do out there in the real world and be confident and bold going forward. So these were my biggest motivators to get trained as a coach.
Excellent. You brought up some really, really good points, and I know that everyone who knows you have seen how much you have flourished. I know you've host quad meets, and that's helped with your interactions with people and being able to talk more freely. You are more relaxed on video, obviously. It's just so great to see you coming into your talents and owning your talents and strengths, and then aiming them to ways to be productive and successful. And that I would like to share, if you don't mind, with the audience, since you mentioned that I had coached you with Clifton Strengths, some of your top strengths. So these strengths are really unique to Shreyas, and it is how he works, it's who he innately is. And these are qualities that you get whenever you collaborate, whether it be coaching or other ways with Shreyas. So I think it's very beneficial to share with you about Shreyas. So, Shreyas, your number one Clifton strength is responsibility. I share that as my number two, but how does that show up in you in coaching?
Responsibility is a great way to help your clients stay accountable to the development plan that they create. And also for me, it is a way to see that I deliver my 100% and help the client have the awareness, have the knowledge about where the strengths actually lie, and also co-create a great development plan which is actionable, which holds true to them. So that is one of the key important factors of being a coach, is to see that the action plans created are manageable. They know what success looks like and feels like, and they have a time frame within which they want to achieve that action plan. So my responsibility shows up in the way I turn up with my clients. I'm 100% available for their entire duration of the session, and I do listen in both actively and intuitively, and pick up on their energy levels, pick up on their feelings, emotions, and reflect it back to the client so that they have the awareness to go deeper and explore any particular topic. So I stay responsible to my clients in order to help them achieve whatever action plan they set for themselves.
Awesome. And I can tell you, I have witnessed responsibility in Shreyas regularly. If he tells you he's going to do something, you can count on it. He takes great ownership and responsibility for everything he does. He is a great partner for me. I know I can count on him, especially where I am lacking. So I'm very grateful for that. Your number two is connectedness. And I know that you have really owned connectedness and use that to further develop some of your skills. Would you like to talk about that?
Connectedness for me is a way to just see the perspectives from my client's point of view, to step into their shoes and see the world as they see it. And it in turn helps me to come up with some great open ended questions that will start making the clients really think deeper. And also by connecting with them on a personal level, being detached with the actual response, it helps me hold a safe space where the clients feel more open. They can freely tell what they're feeling and also share information that will not go out of the coaching space. So connectedness for me is a way to see that the place is safe, and there is absolute openness between the coach and the client to share whatever the client is feeling, and not be bothered about the outcome, or not be worried that that might lead to something else, because as coaches we do not have any judgments. We do not judge the client for what they're feeling. We do not judge the client for what they're saying. So that helps me ask better questions and also see the situation from the client's perspective to help them better understand the situation and be aware of what they need to do next.
Awesome. So I'm hearing from you talking how actually responsibility and connectedness are tying in for you, because we're not one of our talents or strengths. We're a combination, and we're a unique combination. I love hearing you talk about your strengths and how you use them. So number three is learner. And if you haven't noticed, you can go to Shreyas's profile on LinkedIn and you can see some of the activities he's done to continue learning through his certifications and other things. Tell us about how you utilize learner in coaching and anywhere else in your life.
Learner is something that is very extensive, so it need not be just for my coaching responsibility. It does help me both personally, professionally, as well as in my coaching relationship. So for me, I need to keep updating myself on the latest technologies to ensure that I do my best with the task that has been offered to me, because we do work a lot in the research and development. So for me, learning certainly helps me delve deeper into a product that I'm designing or a product that I'm researching. And it also gives me an opportunity to showcase various other talents that I might have, which I'm yet to explore. So one is music. So I can learn music. I've been learning it for almost 21 years. So I play the keyboard. So learning can apply to various and diverse fields. When it comes to coaching, I'm constantly updating myself on the various skills and the tools present so that my clients get a wide variety of options to choose and pick up what works best for them. Because ultimately, in a coaching space, it is the client who takes the lead. So they do have utmost freedom to choose the tools they want, to choose the type of coaching they require, because the coaching niche, as we have discussed in the podcast, is varied. So there is no
Mm-hmm.
limitation as to what we as coaches can do. I certainly agree we are not subject matter experts, but I do see myself as a coach to be an expert generalist, where we can definitely coach on any topic under the sun. But the key thing that differentiates us with the other roles like consultant is that we do not advise our clients. So we are not there to advise, we are not there to suggest, we are just there to ask them some great open ended questions, which will in turn instigate their thinking capabilities and they find the answers within themselves. So this is how learner ability comes to me and how I use it in various facets of my life.
Awesome. I love how you just wrap everything together and tie it in and let everyone know how to use it. It's great. So, four um, is a strength that I truly, truly, as a collaborator and partner with Shreyas, appreciate because it's not something that's high on my talent list. Achiever. So, Shreyas, tell us about your achiever talents and strengths.
Uh, it is really tough to talk about one's own achievements, but yeah, my biggest achievement would be, breaking into Daimler, working at their headquarters, because coming in from Asian background, it is certainly difficult for me to find jobs outside of my country because there is a lot going on right now with the pandemic, and then there is also the difficulty of getting the work permits. It's not very easy. Fortunately, I had a great professor who guided me during my master's degree, and I was very fortunate enough to have got a project to do with a reputed company in the UK called Dennis Eagle Limited. So they are one of the leading truck manufacturers in the UK who have a wide product portfolio. So that really helped me ensure that I have a great start to my career. The next biggest achievement for me is making the decision to become a coach because that was one of the most informed decisions I've ever taken. My family completely supported me. There was no resistance at all. I found the right programs. I found the right coach to start with because I certainly did not know what coaching was actually going to help me with. I didn't know could what I could receive from coaching, but I just somehow my intuition told me to just take up a session with you, which was the discovery session, if I remember, and we talked in length beyond the 30 minutes because that was how fascinated I was to learn more, and I immediately went on to take up the Clifton Strengths assessment, which has been great so far and learning to improve my strengths. And it is proven to be very beneficial. For example, my communication has greatly improved ever
Mhm.
since I started interacting with you and going on participating in quad meets and eventually becoming a host for them. And also during my coaching practice, I interact with a lot of clients from diverse backgrounds with diverse domains. So that is a great opportunity for me as well to learn a bit more about the domain they are in. And that is helping me out. For example, write some better LinkedIn content because I've never been a writer in my entire life, unless you count some random essays that I wrote during my school days and for the university applications. Other than that, I've never written stuff for anybody for that matter. But having interacted with a lot of people, it has helped me become a better content writer as well, trying to see that I give out value in each of my content. So these are just some of my achievements that I can readily think of now.
Awesome. I just want to say that you just keep tying everything in so well. So it's obvious to me that you really understand your talents and strengths and how they work with you. And just throwing out there, have you seen Shreyas's posts on LinkedIn, people? If not, you need to go look. You heard him say he is not a writer. Would you think that? I wouldn't. You're doing an excellent job getting the content, the subject matter out there and adding value to people. So I highly recommend if you are not connected with Shreyas, you need to do so, or at the very least, follow him. You will get great benefit from his content. So, and as an achiever, Shreyas always has the goal to get something done, right? So he gives me a lot of times the push that I need. Although I have responsibility to help me get that done, I don't have the um, gee, I'm not sure what's the right word. Anyway, he's a great he's a great compliment for me to help me get things done, and I know I can count on him to either give me a push or pull the weight when I'm slacking. For instance, when I was out with COVID, I didn't even have to ask him. He just jumped in because he knew what needed to be done. That is a really great talent and strength to have. It'll be great as a coach because you'll be able to help people see what they need, and point them in the right direction. Your number 5 is belief. And people with belief have a core set of values or strong family ties. So would you like to share with us how your belief ties in with your coaching or you as a person?
Obviously, like belief is something which is very important for anybody to have. You need to have the self belief in order to have that self esteem going on. So, as a coach, you need to believe that you have the skills to coach a client, find the answers that they are seeking, and you need to have the belief that you can certainly help people achieve whatever they desire. And as I said earlier, in the coaching space, the client takes the lead. So you need to have that belief that whatever the client throws up at you, you have the utmost strength of listening, of reflection, of acknowledgement, of validation to pick up on that lead and follow it up until the end of the session, because that is a true hallmark of a coach. So belief ties in everything. For example, in my professional life, since I'm into the research and development, often I find myself where I wouldn't have any historic data to look at and find some answers. So I need to believe in my own strengths, in my education, in the training that has been given to me to come out with a novel solution, which is really exciting, which is new, and at the same time is commercially viable. So I need to have the belief to see through my ideas, be confident of putting it in front of the team, and negotiating with my clients as well at times. So belief is utmost important. Either it doesn't matter if you're a coach, if you're a professional, or anybody for that matter, you need to have self belief as a person to just move forward and ensure that you're progressing each day.
Awesome. And belief also shows up in other ways. I'm going to touch on that a bit because that's my number 1. And that's not common for people to have that in number 1. So for me, I have strong family values and I have a strong faith in a strong set of core beliefs, which if I'm not careful, can cause me a lot of problems. People might say I'm opinionated. I can't, you know, argue that. I might be. But when we're looking at our strengths, we need to make sure that we're utilizing them for success, that we're using them positively. Because if we're not careful, they can cause us problems. For me, when I get an idea in my mind, I know it to be true based on my other strengths. And it takes a lot to convince me otherwise. I have learned that sometimes I need to open my mind just a little bit more to take in some other information. Because guess what? I'm not always right. I'm sure Shreyas can attest to that. But anyway, it's a great quality to have as a coach. And our number 6 for you, Shreyas, is woo. Woo is winning others over. These are the people that, to really clearly get you a quick idea of what it is, if you go to a party, these are people that are usually referred to as butterflies, social butterflies. They will go and have to talk with each person on a more superficial level, not deep connections. So tell us a little bit how you felt when you found out Woo was at your number 6 and how you've embraced that.
I was very much surprised that I had Wu as number 6 because I never thought I was winning people over. Certainly, it was evident in some facets of my life, but I never gave it a great thought. I always thought that I needed some push or some kind of motivation to go out and talk to people. But after the coaching session we had, It just completely transformed the image I had of myself. I can now go ahead, boldly start conversations, and that is how I ended up being the Quad Meets host, where I meet with three random people, and I'm the one tasked with initiating a conversation. So it came out quite naturally. So I never felt there was a push or there was a force that I needed to go out and talk to my clients. I never felt uneasy when I had to jump on discovery calls with people I didn't even know a little bit, or I didn't have any idea about their background, or for that matter, what kind of coaching they were looking for. And the same holds true when I had my interviews with the company as well. So here I was talking with people from Germany, where I thought language might be a big barrier, but fortunately it wasn't. And the interviewer also felt quite good. And the most common feedback that I hear from all the people that I talk to is that they feel calm, they feel relaxed seeing me, and the conversation is more or less relaxed all the time. And that is a great compliment for me, which made me believe that yes, woo is something that I can have at number six. But frankly speaking, before I even came up or took up your coaching session, I really didn't think that that would somewhere be on the top six. And I remember saying this to you as well before we read out the results
Mhm.
as well. When you asked, do you think you have the capability to attract people? And I said, no, that might be number 33 or 34. And then there you said, okay, let's start at number six. And that is, and I was like, this is either the results are wrong or I might have just made some mistake in the assessment. But then you just helped me go back to think about situations where I've literally been able to win people over, especially during my university interviews, the way I got my project, which was very important because I needed to do my thesis. And it was the time was quite short, and I had to make this a successful attempt. And so when I just recounted all those past experiences, that is when I believed yes, that I did have who as one of my strengths, which I could use it in my coaching experience or
Mhm.
in my coaching practice to actually help clients feel calm, feel relaxed to share any kind of emotions. Because as we know, as coaches, there are times where some of the feelings might be really very dull, very sad to listen, but we need to stay on top of our game, and that is where this skill really comes in handy.
I love listening to you talk about how you've embraced woo because our talents are innate. For them to become strengths, we invest in them by learning, by practicing, and you have very much done that. When you embraced quad meets, that gave you that very opportunity to practice that talent and hone it even more as a strength. I just You're just a poster child for that. It's wonderful. Number seven, you have discipline, which is also, I mean, all the talents are great, all 34 of them, all the talent themes. But this is just another great tool as a strength for you. Tell us how discipline fits in, and especially, I think, works well with your achiever and responsibility.
Right. Discipline is something that I was inculcated. I inculcated it with my stay with my granddad, who is known to be well disciplined, was very strict. So that is where I get my discipline from. And the way I see it show in my professional or personal life is to stick to timelines, to be present to my meetings on time. I usually ensure that I'm 5 minutes early, even if it is my hosting duties or I have had an appointment with someone else. I show up at least 5 minutes before so that we can work out any technical issues, or sometimes it just makes sense to show that you're very well interested. And professionally, it ensures I stick to my working hours when I have to work. When I'm on a break, I just take a complete break. I don't even discuss one thing about work. And once I'm back from the break, I'm again focused 100% on getting the job done. So, and discipline is also, trying to stay healthy, maintain a good exercise routine on a daily basis. Ever since the pandemic happened, we did have a very strict lockdown initially for almost 3 months, or a little over
Mhm.
3 months. And it was my discipline that really helped me um, pass through the phases of lockdown comparatively better. I wouldn't say it was the best, but I did fare better compared to a lot many people that I met during the lockdown phase, either through
Mhm.
my coaching duties or through quad meets or just having a general discussion with people. So discipline has been with me ever since. Like I spent 4 years alone with my granddad, so I really learned a great deal about the way he would work. It was a very orderly routine. There was no
Mhm.
break, and at the age of 80, he was there doing all the chores by himself. So, which was a great motivation for me to stay disciplined. And it will just fit in well when I go to Germany because they love order. And me having this discipline will certainly help me adapt better to those conditions as well.
Awesome. And you use the word adapt. So at number 8 is adaptability. So having adaptability, you're flexible and can quickly adjust to changing or unexpected circumstances. So tell us how you utilize your strength of adaptability.
Adaptability is a very good thing to have as a coach because I think you might have also experienced this in your coaching practice. Uh, One client would come to you for executive coaching, and immediately the next client would want life coaching, and some other client would want sports performance coaching, relationship coaching. So, in order to move freely between the niches, it really helps you if you have this great adaptability because the requirements for each type of coaching is different, although the skills are the same, but the requirements will be different. And each client is unique. So, in my coaching practice of about 8 months, I have never seen one issue being repeated between my clients. So, I've had about, it's a few number, I do agree, but it's still significant to see that the issues don't repeat on a regular basis.
Mhm.
So 8 months seeing a lot of different issues is something that you need to really think before you take on that coaching assignment. So of the 12 or some clients that I've seen so far, there have been 12 different issues. So all 12 of my clients have unique requirements. So for me to bring in that adaptability with me, it feels good for myself as a coach. And at the same time, the client is getting a lot of benefits where I can quickly see what skills I need to bring to the table. Professionally, adaptability gives me the strength to move between locations. Right now, I'm working in India remotely for almost 1.5 months. And then immediately I need to move to Germany in the middle of winter. And
Mhm.
coming in from a South Indian city of Bangalore, I've never seen winters where temperatures go below 20. And now I'm moving to a place where the average temperature might be 12 or 13 in the winter in the day, and move to the negatives as the day progresses. So it really gives me the ability to adapt to those conditions very well. And second is obviously the differences in culture. So if I'm adaptable enough, I can be more open to accepting those cultures as well, because German culture is totally different to whatever I've seen. Although I've
Mhm.
stayed in the UK for almost a year and a half, the culture differences are quite significant. So adaptability gives me the confidence to better accept that culture, better immerse myself in that experience, and just try to have fun at this, and at the same time, just complete my responsibilities that I've been tasked with.
Okay, great. Before we move on to number 9, I'm going to go through the top 10. We do have a question, and I think, Shreyas, that you and I can both probably address this fairly well. Um, how can you deal with difficult people in difficult situations? Now, of course, this isn't a simple answer because there are a lot of variables in both you and the people and situations you're dealing with. But Shreyas, you want to give a little piece of advice, and then I will follow up with that.
Sure. So the best way to deal with difficult people or difficult situations is to just try and maintain your cool, maintain calmness. It shows really in the way you talk. So it's better to not be agitated at what the other person says. And some of the best skills that I have found useful in difficult situations is to just actively listen. Don't try to convince the other person of your opinion. Don't even share your opinion. Just actively listen. And maintaining that silence is really actually beneficial to both the parties. Where I've observed that maintaining that period of silence and actively listening just ensures the situation cools down a bit, after which you can always initiate a negotiation where you can try and ensure to have a win-win strategy in place. The other best thing is to just let the person vent out all their feelings and you stay as calm as possible. And once they're vented out, you go ahead and just share your opinion or whatever you have to say. So the best thing would be to actively listen, stay calm, and not be agitated in the way you speak.
That's a really great advice, Shreyas. The things I would add is looking at the whole situation is going to be helpful in the long run. Immediately, Shreyas gave great tips because a lot of us, especially now during COVID, there's a lot of different situations and things that we are going through and people that we come in contact are going through. And we don't always know what the other person has been through. I think you see that a lot. We don't know how the other person feels unless we walk in their shoes. So they're bringing baggage as well as we're bringing baggage to the situation. So actively listening and staying calm is very great advice, and I back that up 100%. Raul, if this is something that you're dealing with on a continual basis, be it at work or personally, I think that engaging with a coach might actually be very beneficial with you because we can look at you as a person and how you perceive things and how you deal with things and really help you work through the situation to find the best answer long term for that situation. So if you're interested, look up Shreyas or I. We're both on LinkedIn. We both have Facebook pages. We both have Shreyas has a Facebook and an Instagram for Get Set Rise Coaching and Consulting. I also do for Cultivate and Thrive. I have my website, michellegunn.com, and Shreyas has his website, Get Set Rise Coaching and Consulting. So contact either one of us if you're interested in furthering that with coaching. I think we'll be happy to help. Right? Yeah. So number 9 is ideation. So Shreyas is fascinated with ideas. He likes to look at things from a different perspective. He's always searching for connections, also being tied in with this connectedness, searching for connections within things. So tell us how you would use your ideation either in your coaching business or otherwise professionally or personally.
For me, ideation is a way to bring out interesting things because there are a lot of other coaches that are there. So if you just were to search for coaches on LinkedIn, you might probably get millions of results. So ideation is a way for me to just distinguish myself from the lot. So I try to keep my conversations interesting. And when it comes to my professional career, it is my duty to come up with new ideas, new products. So definitely, I need the ideation strength to be able to do that on a continuous basis and just deliver something interesting to the customers so that they look up to owning that product when it launches in the market. And coming to my personal life, ideation translates into good collaborations, just like the one we are having. So we have developed a great podcast, which I'm sure will receive some critical acclaim in the future. I'm very hopeful of that because it is something that is not commonly talked about. So the topics are interesting. So the next thing is we are collaborating on live sessions where we are getting to talk about how coaching has impacted our personal life, our professional life. So there are many other collaborations that are lined up, and pretty soon we will be launching more in the future as well. So ideation certainly helps us be forward, distinguish ourselves from the crowd, and just be unique. That is what can bring great success to you, to be yourself and be unique.
Awesome. And at number 10, we have self-assurance. So Shreyas trusts his instincts, so he goes ahead, forges ahead confidently, and sometimes even is willing to take risks to do that. So talk about how self-assurance really, I think it helps drive you in your business, in your coaching. You want to talk about that a little bit?
For me, self assurance translates into confidence and belief, because I've never had any experience opening up a business myself. So self assurance is very much important and required to ensure that I completely believe in my business, because you know that for any new business, it takes some time to settle and start making business or start getting clients. So for me, self assurance was a way of looking at the business objectively, subjectively, and intuitively, to just ensure I keep delivering value to people through my content. And wherever possible, whenever I get clients, I just try to ensure they have 100% satisfaction from the sessions they get from me. And also, self assurance translates to better performance in my professional career. As I explained earlier, I'm into research and development. So the time is very critical to come out and with a new product, which is commercially viable, attracts the interest of my customers, and at the same time is profitable for the company. So you need to be very assured, saying that this idea can work and that you would want to explore it a little bit further. So self assurance plays a key role in building good confidence, self concept, self esteem as well, so that you can stand your ground firmly when time comes where you might have to meet your clients and explain the benefits of launching a new product. And in my case, if I have to convince my manager to divert some fund in order to research a new thing, then I need to be very self assured, saying that this will give you so and so results, and hence you
Mm-hmm.
need to do this and this work. So, this is how it translates in my personal and professional life.
Awesome. I just love to hear people talk about their strengths. I can talk all day. But those are Shreyas's top 10 talents out of 34, which are his strengths that he actively uses regularly. He does use more, but this gives you a good picture of what makes Shreyas the unique individual and coach that he is, and how you can benefit to everything that makes Shreyas Shreyas. So I really thank you for sharing that with everyone, Shreyas. It's a little bit personal. I really didn't tell him I was going to do that. So, but it really gives everyone a good picture of who you really are. So, can you tell us a little about what your purpose is and how that aligns with your mission?
Well, my purpose, the ultimate purpose, is actually to help people have better awareness of their own strengths and challenges, which in turn translates to a positive experience for them. And my mission is what I learned at IPEC as well. It's to raise the consciousness of this world one person at a time, so that I ensure there is a better place to live in when I turn old, which I feel quite the time just flies past. So I would want to have a better place to live in. So my purpose and my mission are quite aligned because of what I went through, the coaching experience, the coach training, and also my conversations with a whole
Mm-hmm.
different group of people. It might be my clients, my mentors, my coaches, and also my colleagues and friends who share their experiences with me. And we get to have a healthy discussion as to what that experience has translated for each one of us. So, in that way, my purpose and mission are quite aligned. And I do hope that through coaching, I do reach a wider audience, help them find what the answers they are seeking, and ultimately make them aware of their own strengths and challenges.
Awesome. If anybody else has any questions they'd like to ask Shreyas or myself or about coaching or anything in general, please go ahead and drop it in the comments. Um, I can see your comments. I can't directly respond to stuff on LinkedIn now, but I will get back to everyone who's dropped comments. But we can see your questions, so please feel free to ask anything. So, Shreyas, you have a lot going on in your life right now. Probably always have, I'm guessing, based on your strengths alone, since you're a high learner, the responsibility and woo and all the other things that drive you to be who you are. You seem to be someone who likes to get things done. And so you had mentioned about making a transition into Germany. You've started your business, your coaching business in the last 8 months. Do you have any words of wisdom to share with anyone from a coaching standpoint at maybe how they can either perceive the world we're in as it is today or something just to give them some inspiration on a daily basis?
Well, I'd like to share one thing that I tell all my clients, which is you have the power to attract what you want, and like attracts like energy. So you have the power to create the right outcomes, the right situation, the right type of feeling that you want. And my own experiences can testament to that fact, where I've attracted a pretty good job, which is very much what I wanted when I was doing my master's degree. When I started, I never even imagined that one day I would be entering the Daimler headquarters as a project engineer. So that is something which I've attracted as recently as last week. And yes, you do have the power to create perfect outcomes. I created my business without having to ask for external funding. So I had some savings left from my uh, part-time jobs that I did during my university time, and it was more than enough to start setting up the business, do the website, and get along with some marketing, basic marketing done. So that is one thing that I always say, which is, and I truly believe it myself, you have the power to create what you want. You just have to have the right intentions and the right goals to just follow it through and see that you create a better situation for yourself and ultimately feel all the positivity and abundance the universe has to offer.
Awesome. And I did drop the link to Shreyas's website in the comments. So feel free to visit it and see all he has to offer and reach out if you're looking for some guidance, some coaching guidance. So, what you talked about the things that you need and people can do. So, tell us how coaching them can help them do that.
Well, the first thing is they find the answers within, which I believe will help them in the long run, because all people need at times is just a short spark, and that spark just ignites all their dreams, and they start following it up with successive goals. And coaching really helps, in getting a reflection of what you're thinking. So we act like a sounding board, so we can just reflect back whatever they have told and help them see things from a different perspective, and ultimately help them connect different dots so that they have a clear action plan, which is on a progressive scale, so they don't feel overwhelmed seeing the ultimate goal, but they see the small steps that they need to take in order to achieve their ultimate goal. And finally, it's all about building being aware of your strengths and challenges. So that is what a coach does. They don't advise, they don't suggest, but rather help the client have that inner awareness, because outer awareness is something that can happen if you're quite observant enough, but the inner awareness to let go of your assumptions, to let go of your energy blocks. I think that is what a coach does and helps break the big goal into small, achievable steps so that they have a clear step by step action plan and ensure that they hold themselves accountable to achieving that.
I heard some really, really great points. Number one, I want to reiterate that the answers are really within ourselves, right? What we need to do and how we need to do it. And a coach works with you, asks the right questions to get you to that point where you can find the answers from within. Shreyas talked about addressing anything that's blocking you from getting to these results and making a plan and being accountable, which means if you want to engage with a coach to find success or to tackle something to get results, the coach is not there to do it for you, right? You have to do the work, but the coach is a great accountability partner. And I know we've addressed a lot of these things that you've talked about today. We've addressed in the 7 episodes of our podcast that we have released. So go visit that and take a listen. And we appreciate feedback also. Um, Shreyas, is there anything else you'd like to add or any messages you would like to give to the people today, or any other directives and places to visit to get in touch with you?
Well, they can reach out to me on the website. So there is an appointment link available. So they can book a 30-minute free discovery call with me as per their convenience and the slots available. Alternately, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn DMs as well. I do try my best to answer all the DMs as quickly as possible, but sometimes, given my full-time duties as well, it just might take a little bit of an effort to clear my DMs, but I do respond as quickly as possible. And obviously, there are my Facebook pages and Instagram page that I have opened where I share some good tips as and when I find it useful and can share it with the audience. I do share it on all the 3 social media channels. On a parting note, I would just like to thank all the listeners for their continuous support on our podcast. We do our some great coaches lined up who will be our guests from season 2. So we still have 3 more episodes to conclude season 1, and very soon we will be hosting some guests who are great in what they do. So we both are really thankful to all the listeners. And just, I would like to say, as a coach, there is nothing that can stop you from achieving your dreams. So, if at all you need any help, we are always there to guide you and offer our services anytime. Please do feel free to reach out, and we will be glad to help you with whatever you want to achieve. Thank you once again.
Awesome. I do want to add one more thing. So, in case you're not aware, I am in the United States and Shreyas is in India. The great thing that was available before COVID, but really came about even more prevalent during COVID, is that we can coach anyone worldwide. So just keep in mind that we're all in different time zones. So, like Shreyas says, he does his best to get back to you through his DMs on very quickly. Not only does he have a full-time job, he may be in a different time zone. Sometimes when you message people, they're sleeping. So don't think they're not getting
Mhm.
back to you. But we are available, and we have lots of technology available to help you worldwide. And I would definitely recommend Shreyas as a coach if you are interested. And I truly appreciate this opportunity, Shreyas, to have you on to share with everyone all that you've accomplished. You have so much more in your future, and whatever. I love talking strengths with you and talking about how you're using it. And Please reach out to either one of us, connect with us on LinkedIn, follow us on our Facebook pages, our Instagram pages, and we are here to connect with you and to help you. And like Shreya says, visit our websites. We do have discovery phone calls that you can take advantage of. And when I say take advantage, I mean with the best intent. Our time is valuable as well as yours, but we do really want to work with people that we have a good rapport with and can have a good working relationship with and feel like we can help. And either I or Shreyas, if we feel that we are not a good fit, we will tell you and we will recommend someone who is. I know that I have referred people to other people who would be a better fit, or maybe they're looking for a mentor or a counselor, which we are not. Um, but we are here to help coach, and Shreyas is here to get set, rise with his clients, and I'm here to cultivate and thrive with mine. And Shreyas, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your, and I'm going to say evening, it's morning here and evening there. You may not be able to tell,
Yes.
but he is very adaptable with his time as long as he can fit it into his schedule. So thank you, everyone, for stopping by. And we appreciate any of your comments, your thoughts, the questions that we received. Please reach out with any further questions. Um, I guess that's it for today, unless anybody else has any questions. I don't see anything else coming in. Or Shreyas, do you have any other last minute thoughts that have popped up?
Well, that is all I have to say. It's been a pleasure collaborating with you, to have you as a coach, as a friend, and as a co host on the podcast, which is very much dear to me because we get to share our experiences and get the message out to a larger audience. So, thank you once again.
Awesome. Everybody have a blessed and happy weekend. Goodbye.
Thank you.